Camarada, which is a chamber music nonprofit organization that operates out of Bread and Salt and a few other places. We're going to give Beth a minute to get on. Oh, she's here. Let's connect Beth. So it should be connecting. Hi.
Hi.
It worked.
It worked. Let me.
I always end up having to adjust this camera.
Okay.
Cool. So
I'm here.
I was just saying to everybody that we're going to be talking to you today. Tomorrow is Adam John Manley. And then we're going to have Erin Spellman. We're also talking with Sasha Kazul Riebenstein, and we're going to have Space Time, and we're talking with a lot of other people. So just trying to get everything lined up. And so today we have Beth Ross Buckley from Camarada. I don't know where to begin. I know we talked mainly about maybe starting with a little bit of Camarada history and then yourself, or what do you think?
Yeah, let's let people know what Camarada is, maybe some more stories later. But Camarada has a new tagline I'd like to share with you.
Yeah.
And it is, we make music that moves you. And that's always been my mission, that when I offer concerts, I want people to be moved. I want them to move. You know, dance around a little bit, but I want them to leave in a higher vibe than they were when they came in to the concert.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the opportunity to see quite a few of your concerts now, and one that stuck out in particular, there was a tango event that you guys organized. And there was is that right? There was an accordion player that you've flown in?
It's a bandonian, which brings up a good question. Bandonian it's similar to accordion. If you call a bandonionist an accordionist, they bristle a little.
Right.
So you want to be careful. So I wish I had a picture, but in our videos, Raul Halrena is a world famous bandonionist, and it's a squeeze box, so it goes in and out. An accordion, you're going to play on some keys that look like a piano and squeeze also, but a bandonion is all buttons. I don't know how he does it. And a button in, when he pushes in is one note, when he pulls out is another note. So it's very complicated.
I mean, that's a good reason why we have you here, because I have no clue. My oldest sister, I remember we grew up in the house and she had an accordion and never opened it, and it was like this relic that we would all look at.
Like a sculpture.
Yeah. So it's great to have professionals like you to kind of clarify. But to think of that concert in particular, it was just incredible watching somebody just kill it on this instrument. It was really neat.
Yeah.
And that's something that you do. You fly in, or you have professional musicians travel from around the world. Where was he from? Or where is he from?
Originally, he's from Montevideo, Uruguay. And my story on that, is that I've been playing tango for many years in San Diego. I put on a tango concert almost every year for 25 years. Wow. I have a passion for the tango music, and we played with an accordion player who was a dear friend, and he passed away. Lou Finucci, quite a genius, and he did many concerts with us. And I needed to find someone new for our group, and a friend of mine said, just bring somebody in, because I want to play with a bandonionist, and there isn't one that I know of in town. And so I started watching YouTube videos and see if there, is a video of a bandonionist that, looks amazing. And I found him, and I Facebook messaged him, and I sent him some YouTube recordings that we already had, so he knew we were playing tango, and he accepted. And
Wow,
the
that
first,
makes the world just feel so small, and it makes social media and things like that just seem not so evil and weird, you
exactly.
know, when you can actually
This is the good
connect.
part of social media. And
Right.
he and the first place he played was Bread and Salt. That was the
Oh,
first
cool.
concert, and he's played there on 2 of our concerts. And he was just here, and we played at the Conrad in La Jolla. And we were supposed to go to South America, to Montevideo and Buenos Aires. So it started out with a Facebook message.
Hmm.
We've become really good friends. We, in San Diego, all the Camarada musicians just love him. And and he's, you know, likes to play with us, and offered to have us come play at his hometown in the Solis Theater. And also, we had some bookings in Buenos Aires. So
Yeah, it's sad to hear that things have changed because of the pandemic, and
yeah, we'll get there.
yeah.
It might not,
Um,
maybe next March.
Maybe
We'll
we
see.
could go back and just talk about the beginning of Camarada. I know it's been around 25 years you're celebrating. That's a really long time for any organization. That's a milestone for sure.
Yeah, it's been a fabulous celebration year. Um, I moved to San Diego from San Francisco. My husband Dave is a radiologist, and he did his training there.
Mhm.
And I played in, he was busy, so I kept myself busy teaching 50 students. And I think I played in 8 orchestras and
Wow.
5 chamber groups. I just played all over the place. I came to San Diego and was teaching at San Diego State, and wanted to play chamber music. And there wasn't a group in town at that time.
Can
So
you
I
do,
met,
can you
yeah,
define chamber music
sure.
for anybody that isn't familiar?
That's a good idea, because I've been, yeah, even thinking about that in
Mhm.
marketing. Do people know
Yeah,
exactly what
the
that is?
difference.
It's really just small ensemble group playing together. So a small group, we're generally under 12 players.
Mhm.
So maybe I'll do a duo concert, or last fall I did a jazz concert with Mike Wolford and Holly Hoffman, and we had a whole string ensemble with us, so we were at 12 players. So, but it's small, 4 or 5 is the norm, and what
Mhm.
I love about it is everybody's featured. I mean, you really get to know how somebody plays. Everybody's really a soloist.
Yeah, it seems like in the concerts that I've seen, everybody gets a chance to do a solo, and it's not an excessively, long concert. Your average concert's like an hour or so, right? And there's
Yeah, we do like 60 to 75 minutes generally without intermission. Um, it just it can change, but that's what we usually do. So,
Where did you train for music, or how did music get involved in your life? Starting.
uh, yeah. Well, I grew up on a farm in Minnesota, and there wasn't much to do. So, I started taking piano lessons, and loved it. Loved to practice, and really, it was one of the most fun things I had to do. I do practice, and I play with my cats. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, he's bugging me. He wanted me to pick him up, so I'm like
Aww.
pulling on my leg.
Oh.
So, were people in your family musicians though, or it was just something a curiosity to keep yourself occupied?
Well, my parents, no one in my family was a musician, but I had an aunt that was a piano teacher in Minneapolis. So, but the thing is, in Minnesota, everybody picks up an instrument. I mean, pretty much everybody plays in the band and sings in the choir. So that's not unusual. I think what was unusual is I love to practice right away. And so, other people played, and but I just would practice a lot. And then I had a really good piano teacher that gave me a good foundation. Her name was Sister Carmela Buckley, and
Oh,
then she
whoa,
was so excited that I married a Buckley.
that's crazy.
So she was a lot of fun. So I played in a lot of piano competitions, and did that so that I get to go to Minneapolis and go shopping. So I had motivation. But I always loved it. Loved performing with other people. That's the joy of it from long ago. But
Why do you
yeah.
Why do you think so much music has come out of Minnesota? Or
I think it is because, well, in the Midwest in general, it's maybe not as common anymore, but everybody was given an instrument in the band to play. I mean, there were only a few people maybe who chose not to play in the band.
Well, I know Prince is from there, right? And he's created music foundations there and things like that, and Bob Dylan and a bunch of other people.
Yeah. Maybe it's because the winters are long and cold. So
right.
You gotta find something to do. So, but in San Diego, I got down here, and I had been in several groups in San Francisco, and decided I'm gonna Minnesota nice. I love that.
Yeah.
I wanted to start a group, so at San Diego State, I met Ann Chase, and she was a founding member with me, and then she introduced me to Mary Behringer on piano, and we started performing together. And actually, my fun story goes like this. I've been thinking about starting a chamber group and a small ensemble. And Dave and I were in Vienna in a cemetery looking, at Beethoven's grave and Mozart's grave. And we heard someone speaking English, and we said, it sounds like you're from the United States. And they said, yeah. And I said, are there any other famous graves around here? And he said, yeah, my grandfather, Arnold Schoenberg. And so if you're in the music world, you may have heard of him, Arnold Schoenberg, but he was an artist and a composer, and atonal composer. Anyway, it was his grandson. I think it was Randall Schoenberg. I've talked to him years later when the movie came out. What is it? The Klimt, the Kiss. That.
Oh yeah.
So I said, were you in Vienna during this year? And we think we probably talked at that point. So he invited us, Dave and I, to a concert and opening reception for Schoenberg's art and music the next night. And I thought it was so powerful, especially to hear, not only the composer's music and his art together, but combining music and art was so powerful and so much fun that I thought, when I get back to San Diego, that's going to be a theme in the group that I start. So,
were you always interested in being a multi-instrumentalist? I don't know if that's the right way to describe that, but how did you arrive at flute also, or when?
I mean, I don't know if I call myself multi-instrumentalist, but I can play the piano because I have that foundation. Right. I was a church organist to support myself for many years.
I mean, organ is extremely complicated. There's not that many people that can even play an organ, right?
I wouldn't, and I probably wouldn't call myself an organist, but I could play. So, I wasn't that good at the pedals or anything, but I could do the basics. But mainly I'm a flutist and play piccolo flute and alto flute. So that's as far as but having piano as a skill is really important. That way I can sit down and play something for myself. In a pinch, Dave and I, just a couple of years ago, we were down at Rancho La Porta performing, and our pianist had an emergency and had to leave. And we had to come up with a program. We didn't have to, but we thought we would. So I can play something easy for him in an emergency situation.
Do you compose on flute or on piano, or is there a method that you actually go to?
I don't compose. I wish I did. Mm-hmm. I'm learning a little improv in the jazz world, but no. I wish, and I think maybe that would be fun to dabble in, just to kind of break free from the page even more. But I'm not. No one's going to commission me.
I guess just getting back to the Camarada origin, you came
Yeah.
back inspired to San Diego and met a few different people, you were saying?
Hmm. And in fact, the first performances were of an Arnold Schoenberg piece. That was part of it. Not only was that inspiring, but in San Francisco, I had performed Pierrot Lunaire by Schoenberg. And so, and that's what brought me to meet Anne Chase. She was thrilled to sing it. And then she brought in Mary Berenger. And we had so much fun over the years putting concerts together and laughing. And then when they retired, I brought in Dana Burnett on piano, and she's been with me a long time. And we collaborate and do a lot of laughing too.
Hmm.
So. Anyway, yeah, you've seen her in many Bread and Salt concerts.
Oh, yeah. So what was the original goal? Did you decide to become a nonprofit and to do these concerts and things like that? Is that what the original plan was, or?
Yeah, I mean, we started, and at the time, Mary Berenger's significant other was a lawyer, and he helped me. He's like, you need to be nonprofit so you can take donations, and so he helped do the paperwork to get us the nonprofit status, which is complicated and took maybe a year.
Yeah, I know. Bread and Salt, we talk about, you know, what if we were a nonprofit and what it would actually mean for the programming and stuff like that. Do you have a board and things, or is it how many people actually run Camarada?
I do have a board. Yeah, if you're a nonprofit, you have to have a board of directors, and I have a wonderful board. So I'm the person maybe with the most hats because I perform. I'm the executive director. Honestly, I'm head of the marketing. I oversee the design, but I have a wonderful manager, Lisa Barnhouse, and she helps me with many things. And then we have a concert manager, and I have 10 people on my board. So
Jim just asked a question. I'm like, what is this? Maybe you know.
Okay, what's the question?
BC NBC vibe? I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. Jim, what are you talking about?
What a weirdo. Of all people, why? I'm like, is he talking about like I don't know what he's talking about. And then he
I don't know. Well, maybe I said I want people to leave with a high vibe. Is that what you're talking about, Jim?
Way to throw a wrench in the works. But one of the things, I guess, talking about the whole nonprofit status and what you're doing, I hung a piece of my own today because I donated this. It's up for auction with your organization.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. So I love Tom. I love your art, and he donated last year. Let's get a close up. So this is on. Yeah.
It's hard to see this, but
come bring it down just a little. There you go, and back up a little. Perfect. So we just opened 2 days ago the 25th anniversary virtual at-home auction for Camarada, which keeps us going and will keep us ready to come back with concerts as soon as we're able. So check it out, camarada.org. It's camarada.org. And that piece is up for auction. And since you showed that, I'm going to attempt to walk and talk.
I'll add some links. I just created a link tree yesterday. I just learned about this. It's a place where someone can just go and see all of our links. Like there's a recent KPBS article and things like that. So yes.
Okay, I bought art from Tom as soon as I moved into this house 2 years ago. Isabel was over and she said, I have the perfect art. Isabel Dutra, right. Who is with Bread and Salt Galleries. Yep. Thank you, Isabel. She suggested this art, and it's a. Can you tell them something about it? I love that it has the stand with it.
Yep, that's a piece that I made especially for a Quint Gallery show, and It's a piece that has a sculptural element with it that has a piece of charcoal that Andrew Alcacid gave me as a gift, and it inspired this whole chain of events, including
It's the
the artist
charcoal.
the artist Tom Driscoll helped me make that small dish to hold the charcoal in it. And then I did a series of drawings that's in response to the sculptural element with the stand and everything. And I'm so happy that it found a home. You know, so many times when you make work, it ends up, you know, in a closet or storage or something.
Oh,
So
well, it's the greeting to our house, and it's
yeah. And I was really happy to
great
install it. And
vibes.
you are a collector of art, and you know, it's one of
Yeah.
these things that I kind of try to drive home at the end of all these conversations is that, you know, it's such an exciting thing to collect work and have it in your home and live with it. And
So I'm going to show a little bit more if I can.
yeah,
I love
huge piece.
collecting. So I don't know if I can get far enough away, but you know what I'll do is I'll go close up. Here is
Right.
a close up of, I'll just kind of scan it. The piece is called Smoothie for the Dawn of Time by James Waters. And Tom knows James, and James is my son's best friend. And
James
Mary
also does
Waters.
ceramics too.
And he also does ceramics. So maybe I can even show you. So you kind of, when I'm sitting, you kind of see this. Anyway, this is a James Waters piece. He did another one that I commissioned. I'm going to see if I can see it. Yeah. He did a portrait of my son, Aaron.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. It's James Waters. And then other local artists. I have a Mark Fellman. I won't walk all the way upstairs. I'm not sure. But I do have, James is a potter and my son Aaron is a potter. So I have local artists and my son's pottery all over the house.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, I've been so lucky to install some art in your house and help hang some paintings and things. And I didn't see the pottery last time I was there, but
I'm just walking around. This is by my friend Susan Spoto's mother. She gave me lots of her work that's around the house. So
yeah.
I love having local artists.
Yeah, and just to, you know, not only entertain, but to just look at it every single day. That's a beautiful piece too. What is that big?
That is, let me see. This is by Don Fay, and he did it. I gave him a sketch of I hope I'm not making people dizzy here.
No.
I gave him a sketch of the land where I grew up on the farm.
Whoa.
And that lower kind of blob in the peachy yellow was my family farm, supposedly. Wow. And this right above was my cousin's farm. They lived just right over the railroad tracks. So it's a Dieven Cornish.
Oh, totally Dievenkorn. And if you're from the Bay Area, that makes sense if you like Dievenkorn.
There's one more I'll show you. Well, two more. I didn't really plan this, but this I love. This is actually a photograph because I love photography. This is by Monique File, and it has such a great vibe to it. It's water in Crete.
Yeah, I know you're also a photographer too, right?
Yes. I love doing portraits, and I've done, you see a lot of them on Facebook. Took a fun one of you the other day too with your dog, but that wasn't.
Oh yeah.
That wasn't.
I think we shared that on Bread and Salt Facebook, but you know, it's so important for people to be collecting work, and just to mention it again on the Bread and Salt San Diego website, and also through our link tree, people can go and see all the artist store that we've created where you can support artists at this time that might need help to get by because of loss of employment, or, you know, nobody's able to have art shows right now. So it's really difficult for people in the arts.
Yeah, I love.
And you doing this auction too, it's a way to help your organization continue, right? You're not able to perform.
It's very important to keep us going. And, you know, I mean, I'm doing it to keep us going, but the truth is I really tried to ask people like you, I want people to know about your art. And
Mhm.
so that is the other reason to check out the auction, just to see local businesses and local artists in San Diego that are so supportive of Camarada.
Yeah, and people keep asking me through these videos why I don't have anything on the artist store, but I'm fortunate enough to be employed right now, and I don't necessarily need to put my work on the artist store to get 100% profit. I'd rather give a piece to an organization like Camarada that I like, where people can spend money over there and support your organization.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
so if anybody's
big
looking
deal.
to get my
Yeah.
stuff, that's the only place to get it at the moment. So.
Oh, check out the auction fast.
Yeah, so we'll put a link to that.
Okay.
What are we missing about Camarada or anything coming up? How is this whole pandemic affected Camarada or what you do?
Well, we did. So, how it's affected, of course, we're a live performance organization, and we had to cancel the last 4 concerts of the season, but about 80% of our season had been performed. I feel grateful for that. And I'm hoping, what we didn't perform possibly we'll do in August or September before the next season starts. And nobody knows, so we'll be letting people know about that.
Is a
I
is a
oh
season the standard year? Is it just
oh, and so a season for like music groups, symphony, everybody starts September, usually ends in
okay?
May or June. So technically, our next season would start either late September or October.
Hmm.
So we'll see. We'll definitely let people know we'll see. And maybe smaller gatherings are going to be allowed. I'm hoping, like, if they say 50 people can get together, I'll be at Bread and Salt and offering concerts for 50 people. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Um,
But I was going to say what I am doing, and there was an article in the paper even about as soon as this happened, I had to cancel the South America trip, but then I was like, what can I do to help people feel better each day? And as soon as I asked that question, I got an email from my recording engineer, Daniel Rumley, and he had all the videos for the tango concert on there. And I realized I could share a video a day. So I said, I'll share a video a day for 2 weeks. And now it's been 5. So I've been sharing a video a day for 5 weeks. You can find, if you haven't been getting them, you can go to the camarada.org blog and go back and see everything I've shared, because then it's kind of curated. It has a few comments about them, or sign up for our email and get a video a day.
cool.
Yeah.
Does it originate on Facebook? Is that where the videos are coming from, or where can people see them,
Okay.
or just go to the
You
website?
can go, yeah, you could go to my Facebook, or at the Camarada Facebook, or my private Facebook. I send an email through Constant Contact each day, and then it's also on the blog so that people can go back and see it.
Cool.
So,
Um, I
so
know
that's
your
what we're
husband's
doing.
also a musician. He's a partner in Camarada, right?
I don't. He's not a partner. I mean, he performs. I'm never going to make him do the administration. So I'm lucky. We did practice some duets last night.
I was just going to say, how are you practicing and making sure that you're sharp if you can't get out and play all the time?
I'll admit it's started to get a little hard practicing on my own. So I said, hey, let's play some duets, because it's getting a little harder to be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually I just got an email this morning. I had an idea of like, what can we do to stay creative and keep things alive and vibrant? And a composer who is the bass player with the tango group, Andres Martin from Tijuana, he emailed me and said, hey, I have time. I'd like to write a duo for you and Dave. And
Wow.
you guys can practice it, and then you'll be able to showcase it. And so I got the first movement this morning, and I'll be keeping, people in touch with that, and probably, start sharing in May. I'll start sharing the creative process of what it's called, what he's thinking when he wrote it, and do some interviews with him too.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think when this whole pandemic thing started and quarantining, I think there was a short lull in activity, but quickly everybody felt inspired to try and help and try to get creative and figure out new methods. So
yeah,
it's neat to hear that something's coming out of it. Maybe a duet that might stick, might be kind of cool.
And then as when we can perform together, I asked Andres if he's going to rewrite it once we, and I think it's even better. Like we'll perform it, we'll learn it as a duo, but he's going to rewrite as a trio with bass when that time comes. So
I guess talking about that, do you want to play music now? I know we talked about maybe you playing something and you have a special instrument, or
yeah, I thought it would be fun to kind of introduce my alto flute. It's probably hard. Look, can we see how? Well, you can see that it's. Let's see. Yeah. You can't really tell, but it's
tell us
bigger.
how that one differs from a standard.
Here we go. Let's see. I'm looking at, and everything looks big there, but so this one is an octave, the bigger one, an octave and a half lower than the flute.
Okay.
So I thought, that might work well to play something on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten inspired. I love Gregorian chant, and I love playing that kind of music on my alto flute. That's not what I'm going to play right now, but I've been practicing a lot of Hildegard von Bingen, just playing around. It's very meditative and gets me motivated to practice.
Oh, I hope everybody's taking notes of these names because it's all new to me.
Oh, okay. Oh, Hildegard von Bingen from 11th century. So the first woman composer. And we actually did a concert at Bread and Salt called Music She Wrote. I have to say it slowly because I kept saying Murder She Wrote. But it's Music She Wrote. And we did one of the pieces. So I have a video from Bread and Salt playing some of that. But anyway, this is not Hildegard, but I'll say that a little bit of the interlude stuff is inspired by some of the modes of the Gregorian chant. And I'll just play it. I think people might recognize the tune. So should I go ahead and do it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I need some glasses.
Me too.
Okay. You too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make sure my music doesn't blow off the stand. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. I'm just going to back away maybe a little so people can see the flute.
No, I feel like I shouldn't be on camera either.
No, you stay. I'll back away a little more. Here we go. Here's one of my favorite pieces of music. Okay.
Wow, that was incredible.
Oh, I don't know
There
about
were a
incredible, but
couple moments there where it sounded so familiar to me. It sounded so contemporary. I don't know
it is. Okay,
what people
so
have touched on.
it is, yeah, we'll have to see if anyone else knew what it was, but it's called Love is Blue. It's music by Andre Pop.
Hmm.
And it's a song I'm not sure who sang it, but my parents listened to this a lot, and my mom's favorite color was blue, so she just loved this piece, Love is Blue. And so it reminds me of my mom. She liked everything
Man.
blue.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to refresh my memory. I'm gonna look that up, but because
Look it up.
it did sound really familiar. I don't know why, but
Yeah, yeah. It's maybe more from my childhood, but yeah, I think actually, I heard my son playing some music while he was cooking yesterday, and this was on, and it reminded me that it was one of my mom's favorite songs. And I believe I'm going to ask Peter Sprague to arrange this for us. Like last year, it was The Look of Love, and this year, I think Love is Blue might be a theme. So.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Cool.
I love the tune, and it's modal, so it can sound kind of ancient and popular at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was really great. And it just reminds me how neat your concerts are, and just being in the brick room at Bread and Salt, the event space, and just seeing these incredible musicians just right in front of us. And also the way that you've, through the remix event that you created by having art in the galleries and our artists in residence around, and the whole art component, it's such a neat thing, and it really
I
fun to
love
have it.
when the artists are there and we'll talk to the audience members. It's so much fun. You kind of bring up that I went to the Bread and Salt opening. At the time, Glenn Fay, who's a friend of Jim's, was the president of the Camarada board, and he's like, "You've got to see this place." And I went down to the opening, and Jim had been to my concerts before. I was like, "Jim, I really want to do concerts here."
Okay.
And so that's how it started. But again, it has such great energy. I applaud you and Jim and Isabel. When you walk in, there's such a vibrancy, and then what you bring to it with all of the different art
Right.
is so much fun. So that's what I was looking for, because I like the art paired with the music if possible, or paired with something. And so other places we are is in Museum of Photographic Arts, and when it opens again, the Mingay International, so that there's a vibrancy that the art brings to the place. And then we have the music, and then people just have so many things touching their senses that they walk away feeling good.
Yeah, the format in particular, it's no pressure. You come in, you can, have some food, watch this amazing concert, and then go stroll through the gallery, and all your senses are kind of.
Yeah. Who was the artist who did all the clouds, the charcoal clouds?
Tatiana Ortiz Rubio. We just talked with her, and her video is on YouTube.
Okay. Well, that was so much fun. That was incredible. And of course, Ponca, we did a concert, and she was there with all of her work. I mean, there have just been some amazing collaborations, and I can't wait to see what comes together for next year.
Right, and you mentioned just this kind of conversation with Jim about liking the space, and maybe we should do a concert. And Bread and Salt has just kind of rolled on like that, like where there's just a conversation that happens, and next thing you know, there's programming that's kind of gone on for a few years, or yeah,
it's always an adventure for sure.
Bread and Salt has this ability to attract these fantastic people, and Jim and Isabel's ability to just say yes, and
I love that. They are, that's them. They just like, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. And if something didn't work, it's like,
okay, let's try again.
Right. Yeah. No, it's been so exciting. And Jim actually mentioned that the comments earlier, I'll put it up here.
Okay.
He said, sorry, his phone was in his pocket. He's digging a hole in his yard. I'm like, why aren't you watching the video, Jim? Digging a hole in the yard.
I'm sure there's a good reason for that hole, Jim.
We did get a legitimate question, though, from
Okay.
Aubrey.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite piano piece to play? So just going back to your piano days.
You know what, I still sit down and play the Bach prelude. What is it? In C, I believe. You know, the very famous one that's paired with the Ave Maria, because I can still play it without. Oh, Jim is listening. Thank you, Jim. I'm glad we can listen and dig your hole. Anyway, I can't play that many things, but the other day I had something sad happen with my family in Minnesota, and I sat down and Stairway to Heaven was on the piano, and it was just so therapeutic to, you know, I like to sit down and play popular tunes. So
yeah, I know you have is it a baby grand piano just right there in the front entrance there?
It is. Let's see.
Yeah, it must be pretty incredible having access to that right there.
A regular grand, so it's great for rehearsals. That's where we practice. And
so living with music is also just part of your everyday life. You don't have it separate from the art or from you know, there's no special space that you go to. You're actually living in. Yeah,
it's a little live in here, but that's our practice space up there. We had the Jobim rehearsals there and tango rehearsals. For tango rehearsals, we just roll up the carpet and give that to the tango dancers, and we play up by the piano.
Cool.
Yeah, we love having music in the house, and you know, that I'm glad I have Dave to make him play duets with me now, so that I can keep it going. So,
does your son play music, or did he get the bug at all, or?
He does have the bug. Both. I have a daughter, Christine, and my son, Aaron. And Aaron has kept up some piano, but mainly he plays guitar, and he kind of teaches himself and sings. So that has been wonderful. I really appreciate having him around playing. My daughter, Christine, took a lot of piano lessons, and she works on Wall Street, and she hasn't had time to play. And she used to do concertos, but we'll see. Hopefully sometime it'll kick back in.
Yeah, it's always so interesting learning that family dynamic too. Like you're saying, you didn't have any professional musicians in your background, but you know, you were attracted to music, and also, you know, going on and having a family of your own. And, you know, did you feel pressure to push them in that direction, or?
I just wanted them to have the foundation, and I was determined. They had to take piano lessons, and I wouldn't let them quit. And we do have some during middle school. My son especially gave me a lot of pushback, and he wrote a very funny poem about being chained to the piano bench or something, and it went into the school collection. So, but he, you know, and every time he'd try to stop piano lessons, I just said, "Someday you'll thank me." And
you know,
yeah.
I would say I was like a little prodded to play piano as a kid. My sisters and I took piano lessons in our little town in Lakeside. There's a main street, and there was a piano store with the piano teacher. His name was Mr. Grayson. He was 100 years old, I swear. And I just wasn't feeling it. No matter what, I just never could get into it. But
well, you know, there is a time to let go, but I'm really glad I think having a piano or music foundation, piano's great because you're learning both clefs. You're learning how to read all music, and you can go on and do whatever you want. As Aaron did, like he played a little mandolin for a while,
cool.
but just loves guitar. We were looking at getting him. He just has like a $50 guitar, so we might, since he's playing it a lot, maybe during this time, he's going to buy his own nice guitar.
Yeah, I love guitars. I have lots of guitars. Gosh, I was just gonna say something and I totally forgot. Oh, I'm just thinking about that kind of dynamic growing up with or without arts in the home and things like that. I did not grow up with art in the home or anybody that was inclined towards the arts. We didn't have access to museums or galleries, but I somehow found my way in some weird way. But I'm always trying to figure out what might motivate somebody to go a creative route, or if it's just something that clicks. But we are going to be talking with an artist named Erin Spellman next week. His father is an artist named Jim Spellman, who's in a lot of museum collections and things, and he's a professor, or he just recently retired from Point Loma Nazarene. But it's interesting that sometimes it is like there's a linear kind of thing that happens.
Yeah, I know.
It's out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to offer it and see what they did with it. I have my good friend Cheryl Rank, clarinetist with the symphony, and her two boys just they want to be professional musicians. They're in high school. They practice their it's viola and cello. It just clicked. They just love it, and they're really talented. But they weren't forced. It just happened, Yeah. So, but I'm glad.
I'm really excited too. We're going to be talking with another musician from Australia. Her name's Judith Hammond. Okay. She was a traveling student at UCSD. She finished at UCSD with her PhD in composition. She's a cellist, and she's been doing residencies, and because of this pandemic, she's stuck in Finland right now. So I was just talking with her, and she was big at Bread and Salt, doing a lot of experimental music and bringing a lot of people from the UCSD experimental music scene and things like that. So it'll be really great to have her do a video here soon in the next week or so.
I will watch for it.
Yeah, I'll make sure and tell you and other musicians to check in. Because we're trying to cover all the stuff, music and visual art too, and performance. So,
good job, good idea.
Yeah, I hope we're not missing anything as far as Camarada. People should go and check out the auction to support Camarada, and
yeah, or sign up for the email. I don't really know how long I'm going to do a video a day. I said 2 weeks, and it's been 5. So
well, we did the same thing Tuesday through Saturday. I gave myself a couple days off, but
yeah,
it's a lot of work, and I'm glad that you're in it with me too.
We're in it together. Yeah. Anyway, I love the comments. It's uplifting to me. People have sent me written notes and email notes and Facebook messages, and people. It seems to be making a difference. So I'll just keep doing it.
Right. Us too. And I see your cat just ran by in the background, which is kind of
I was wondering if they'd make a little appearance.
Yeah, they just did. So this video, just like the others, will end up on YouTube, and I'll send you a link so you can share it too. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for talking with me today and telling us about Camarada and about yourself too.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, cool.
Right. Okay.
I will see you around.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Coming up, we have Adam John Manley, Erin Spellman, Sasha Kazul Riebenstein, Space Time, Judith Hammond. The list goes on. We're adding people all the time. Thanks for watching.